Welcome to the Texas Tennessee slash Country versus Metal podcast.
Dang, I got you guys both.
I know we're both in trouble.
Whoa, this is intense.
I think this is I think this is going to be. I think Adam is planning on like interrogating us for this interview.
I would prefer that.
I'll probably ask you more questions.
But we're down at Mile Zero with Adam Hood.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We've mentioned it before. My first time down here. Patrick's second. Right?
Yeah.
You are the Mile Zero OG.
I'm not OG. I missed the first year, but that's it. We've been here. I guess this is 8 for us.
Learned their lesson on the first one.
Oh man, yeah, the first one. It was kind of that. It was like, I don't know that
They're like, this festival's never going to get over.
we didn't know anything about it, and then all of a sudden we were like, I saw Courtney posting Dalton Domino and stuff, and Brittany and I were like, they're in Key West. What's going on? Who didn't call us? And so we invited ourselves.
Key West than you are, and we're not there.
I know, but still plenty far enough. Ironically, Alabama's still plenty long of a drive that I want to do for sure. Yeah.
Look, couple highlights from this year.
Highlights. Cassius Culpepper, top highlight. And the cool thing was about, here's the thing. The guy's got a lot of good press right now. And so he's got a lot of press and he's got a lot of people's attention. And sometimes that makes me really skeptical. And it makes me skeptical initially, really, And so, and so I was skeptical to begin with. And then, and then I heard some people say, well, he's from Alabama, which is cool. But, a lot of people are from Alabama. And so, but I saw him backstage at the amphitheater, and he was with Taylor Honeycutt, and Taylor didn't even get my name out. He hugged my neck and was like, man, I've been looking forward to meeting you. And so he's from Alexander City, but we pronounce it Alex City for some strange reason. And so that's like 20 minutes north of where I'm from. So my dad, his family grew up in that area. So, I'm really familiar with the place he grew up. And his set was just good. It was great. It was great. And, and he's honest about the fact, he's like, listen, I don't have a whole lot of songs, but I have these, and he's out and he's got everything lined up, and he was really good. His melodies were good, his band's good. Just solid. He's solid, and so I'd say that's probably number one highlight. Number two highlight, the Margaritaville show I played was really fun. I think it's cool that now. Don't quote me on this, but this is the first time that I've noticed Margaritaville participating in the festival. You know what I mean? Usually, it's the venues that have participated in this have been Irish Kevin's, Rick's. Well, yeah, Rick. Yeah, not really Rick's, but Dirty Harry's for sure. And then a few other places, but Sloppy Joe's and the Green Parrot and Margaritaville and stuff. They don't really.
Hanks.
They don't need to close their doors so that this can be an exclusive event, which is really the cool part about this festival. The fact that you can be, if you pay to come down here, you get kind of exclusive shows. Whereas if you see the BMI Fest, it's you and everybody else that's on the island in Key West. It's you and whoever got off the cruise. Gotcha. So it's nice to do that, but places like that, they don't really need to close their doors to do so, So it's neat to see a place like Margaritaville participate in this. And the show was good. And everybody that's played was, the lineup, Jason's playing there today. Paul McDonald played after me, who's a good friend of mine. It's good to see him here for the first time. And yeah, this was fun. We had a good time.
So Stoney LaRue was after you in the afternoon?
Stoney's always after me, man.
Always after you.
Yeah, I can feel his eyes on me as soon as I get where I'm going. I'm like, oh, I know he's around here somewhere.
There's a disturbance in the forest.
Yes, correct. Yes, there's a disturbance in the forest. It's Stoney. We go way back, man.
Well, you were talking about the Cassius that he hugged your neck, gave you that. We were talking about this before you got here. So it seems like a good segue, but he's like, I've been wanting to meet you. First, I saw it firsthand at North Springs, at the little merch table. Tony Logue hung out there waiting for you to get done with your people.
Yeah,
to come and talk to you. I heard it been listening to you. You know, the thing. I've been listening to you for a long time. Finally get to meet you. I know you get that from fans, but you also get it from a lot of artists. And you can, I'm sure you can, especially like Tony's was early in the day. Tony's not really a partier anymore anyway. But you can tell those guys mean what they're saying. What's that? How do you, I know parts of you probably takes that, like it makes it a little uncomfortable or whatever, but
there's, I mean,
but still, it's got to be nice to hear.
It's very nice to hear. But, you know, and there's no buts. I mean, there's responsibility with it, you know, because it took a long time to sort of get comfortable with that. You know what I mean? It took a long time to sort of relax and be able to accept the fact that, like, that's what I wanted anyway. You know, you can either get the adoration of mass markets of people, or you can get the appreciation of your peers. And I mean, there's a million different ways to do it. But for me, it was always you choose one or the other. You're commercial or you're creative. And you're doing this, you know, for the respect of your peers. You're doing this for you know, commercial success. And me personally, and if you ask the next guy, I mean, there's probably they give you 10 different scenarios, but like that was always the line in the sand for me. And so, I try to take it seriously, you know, because I mean, it's hard for me to realize that I'm the guy that they're talking about. You know what I mean? Because I'm the dude that, like, I have to wake up with me and look at myself in the mirror and know my faults. I know how much I write. I know how little I write. I know how good my writing is, meaning like there's nobody more critical on my writing than me. You know what I mean? There's nobody that's going to put me in a writer's block than me. There's nobody that's going to criticize my writing and sort of, you know, I can get me down as fast as I can get me up. You know what I mean? And so, you know, the day-to-day reality of that, that comes into play with those kind of things. And so because it does, those are the things that I've really learned to appreciate. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's when I talk to people like that, especially people like that, like Tony, man, I mean, I was looking at his TikTok page. I mean, man, he's a fascinating guy. I learned a lot from him, you know? Yeah. I mean, like,
he's a heavy thinker.
Yeah, really. And it's nice to see somebody that like, I respect the way he thinks. I respect his approach to life, you know, and the fact that he appreciates what I do. That's nice. You know what I mean? Like that's something that should put a little wind in my sails, you know? And so I try to use it as wind in my sails now. I try to have a responsibility with it, you know?
Good.
Yes, correct.
As far as the wind in your sails
right.
part. Yeah, yes. And yeah, because we've talked about it before with other artists. Like some folks are the you know, we all want the fans and the drunk guys at the gig that come and support you or whatever. But there's a difference between that compliment that's hanging on your shoulder, you know, hey man, I really like whatever, compared to, you know, a 1 p.m. Tony talking, you know, because you know that they're completely. I mean, not that the drunk guy don't mean it either, but there's a different way to take that compliment between the two different kinds. Also, guys like Tony and or whatever, they've been trying to do what you've been doing. You know what I mean? There's a commonality,
and which kind of scares me. You know what I mean? Like it
scares me.
Don't
do it.
Yeah, I don't think you should be doing this way. But you know, I've said this to my wife before. You know, I don't know that my method is tested and proven enough to follow. You know what I mean? Like I don't know that. In my opinion, I don't know that I've achieved a level of success that's worth you trying it this way. You know what I mean? But in as much as I say that, that's not up to me. You know, I mean, success in itself is kind of not up to me. It is, you know, your success is pretty much where you're comfortable with it. You know what I mean? Like I'm as successful as I choose to be for that day. You know, and if you know, that's kind of the way I look at it. I can't look at my success as a broad stroke, because there are days that like the best thing in the whole wide world happened, and then there are days that nothing happened. And so like I'm trying to choose my success daily, you know, and say, well, you know, did I succeed at whatever it is I'm trying to do? And not necessarily the nuts and bolts of it, but like, you know, sure, I succeeded at the laundry, but like, you know, did I succeed at like carrying on being the person that I want to be is today. It's all the little things that get you to, it's brick by brick, And so did I lay my bricks today?
Got one?
Oh yeah. I just want to say, like, from me going from none of this music
Yeah.
to like where we are now, it's pretty cool. Like, consider you a friend.
Absolutely.
And like
Me too.
when I show people your music, I'll be like, this is my friend's music. And one of my favorite things that has happened down here is your wife. I could tell she was looking for something. And I was like, hey, can I help you? Like, what are you looking for? And she's like, I'm looking for Adam. And I was like,
Which probably happens a lot.
you were singing. I was like, do you recognize the voice? You were singing Superstitious with Josh Weathers. And she was
Really?
like, oh. And then just right after that, you were texting looking for her. And I grabbed you. I'm like, Adam, she's over there.
Thank you.
It was really cool.
I was on stage singing with John.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Now she's there. This ain't fair. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, is it just really, not only do we know you, we know like your family and everything. And it's just really cool how, you can listen to Speed of the South and be like, I know that guy.
Yeah.
It's just a really cool thing.
I'm glad to hear you say that. And that's the cool thing about these things. You know what I mean? The cool thing about this is, granted, I have my moments where I can go hide, and when you go show to show and town to town, like it really is, it takes a long time to sort of get acclimated, find your friendships, who you're going to stay with, who you're really going to go eat with. You know what I mean? Like it takes a long time to do that. But here you can knock that out. And you can kill a lot of birds with one stone with that. You know what I mean? Like, because people come from everywhere. And so, like, you meet these people, and then I go to as many shows as I go to way more shows than I play. You know what I mean? So I see the same people at the same shows, seeing the same people that I like. So there's a commonality there. We talk about, hey, I saw that, I see you go through Cleveland or wherever the place may be. And so, I can put a name with a town and a face with a town. And for them, it's the same thing, and so it really kind of, this fast tracks a lot of stuff from on my perspective. And I hope it fast tracks things relationship wise, and there's, I've always heard people say that the mystery is lost with artistry sometimes, but like, I don't know if mysterious is my calling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily know that I'm meant to be someone who's aloof and untouchable. In fact, I kind of feel like that I'm sort of meant to be quite the opposite. Very approachable, very easy to find, very easy to talk to, very easy to ask questions, very easy to answer those questions honestly and positively. And just somebody that can, I'm not trying to let anybody behind the curtain, because to be honest with you, like, you don't want to get behind the curtain. I mean, it's an ugly business, but I mean, banking is an ugly business too. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, like I said, I want to be approachable, because it's important to me. It's important. Like, everywhere I go, everybody that comes to my show, 70% of them, they have my phone number, like they're all friends everywhere, so, and that's cool to me, I mean, like I like it like that,
That's a lot of people that have met you. That, it's a big name, but your personality, and it seems like your answer, when people are like, how can I write a song with you? How can I get this with it? And you're just like, just ask.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm not as good at it as I'd like to be. I would love to say that I daily sit down and listen to songs. Sometimes I just don't have it in me to do it, but I really do try to make it a point to people send me stuff and I listen to it and I give it honest opinion, and sometimes, well, I can be honest about it. Sometimes people, they have the best of intentions, but they're just not there creatively. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's hard to tell somebody that, but at the same time, that gives me a chance to kind of work this out and say, look, you're not there. Instead, no, I don't want to say that, but just say, look, here's the deal. This little part right here is great. Now take this and do something else with it. And then I have friends that, they'll send me like 3/4 of a song. And I'm like, okay, in my opinion, just take this line and make it that, and don't put a minor right there, and you got a great song. That's my opinion. You can use it if you want to. You don't have to put my name on the credits for doing that, but like, it's just free advice. And And, you know, it doesn't have to be necessarily expert opinion, but that's the thing. I don't think that I had to learn this kind of the hard way, and it took a long time to learn it. The fact that, like, you know, you have to be honest with yourself, with your own writing, and really decide what you like and what you don't like. You know, I mean, it's hard to do. It's hard to, I mean, I've got songs that I've recorded that I've finished that were singles that, like, I wish I hadn't written the second verse like that. You know what I mean? And had I given it time and had I been a little bit more honest with myself, I probably would have gone in and changed that song. And, you know, and would it have made a difference in the outcome of the success? That's irrelevant. But it would make things a lot more different to me in the performance of it, in the delivery of it. If I had said B as opposed to A in the second verse, you know, there's a lot of stuff that would probably change about how I feel about the song, you know, and, you know, but, and just that's important stuff. You know, it's important to kind of just, you know, just be honest. You know, you're not writing scripture, you know, it's open for revision, you know? Yeah.
I could, but I guess to highlight something you said is you were, when kind of giving somebody real advice, you know, as far as taking this piece of the song or whatever the case would be, that's exactly what, like, you're giving them advice, and it may seem a little bit harsh, but that's exactly what you're doing to yourself.
100%. I have to,
you know what I mean?
I have to walk the walk.
It might sound a little rough coming from you to someone else.
Yeah.
I think it's important for anyone that might send you something for them to know you're doing the same thing to your own music.
Correct. And honestly, I mean, if it sounds rough, if my critiques and criticism sound rough, you're too sensitive. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, I'm probably the least rough on anybody. I mean, you know, like, you go to some of those, like, you know, NSAI or something like that, you know, they'll do kind of those cherry picking songs. Boy, that's brutal. Some of that stuff is brutal, man. You know, so, and granted, you know, not everybody's Simon Cowell, but at the same time, you know, some people just don't have a knack for handling people's feelings. But at the same time, you know, your feelings they're important, but you also kind of have to learn how to take your feelings out of your song, especially if you're going to send it to me and ask me how it is. You know what I mean? And I mean, because it's not that I'm going to tell you what I don't like. I'm going to tell you what I hear that I don't think that I do or don't think should be there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a dog in this fight. Like, I don't have an opinion on whether the song is good or not. That's not for me, you know. But what I'm here for is to say, okay, this, yes, this, you lost me here. You know what I mean? Like, and you know, just little things like that. Just, you know, connecting your stories, you know, just making sure that you don't overcomplicate your melodies. You don't have to, you know, I always save minor chords for the bridge. You know what I mean? Because I learned that from Pete Anderson, a guy that produced my Different Groove record. And so that's not unanimous. You know, I mean, I've got songs that the minor chord is the first chord in the song, you know, right. But if at all possible, that's where your dynamic is. Like, that's where that's where the friction is, you know? So it's those kind of things, you know, just try to constructive criticism.
Give any constructive criticism if Brent Cobb asked about making redneckisms rhyme?
No, I can't give Brent Cobb any constructive criticism about anything. He listens. He does not listen. No.
But no, I do think about that. We're all, you know, it seems to be like there's, I don't know, all these different ways to go about this, right? Because you're talking about, you know, adding and I know that just because Brent said making redneckisms rhyme in his song doesn't mean that the song's not also great.
If anybody can do it well, Brent can do it well. But you know what I mean?
Put that little that non-serious part in there, and but still have like it's not just a thrown together song, you know. He just put that part in there, so
which is, I mean, it's pretty appropriate for his personality. Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. I think it's just part of the deal. Which if it was somebody else that did that, it wouldn't
fly. It would sound contrived.
With him, you're like, it's just part of the deal.
Yeah.
Great. I just wanted to throw that in, but
that boy loves Brent Cobb.
Me?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You love Brent Cobb, don't you? I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna text him.
Making Adam jealous.
I know. What's he got I ain't got except for hair?
I flew all the way down here to talk to you, Soul Gravy. Where's Brent Cobb?
Where's Brent Cobb? He's at his house.
Fair, I've seen Adam shows a whole lot more than.
I know, me and you both.
So, but I do like both of y'all's music. So.
Well, he's good. He really is.
It's like if I got to share your playlist with somebody, it's good to be Brent, right? Yeah, we would have Brent on it and this thing anytime. For those that don't know, on my podcast, the Texas Tennessee podcast, we had an interview with James Otto, and Adam came on as a co-host, which was I had internet trouble and probably was still or frozen half of it, but Adam and James had an excellent conversation.
Yeah, we did.
They didn't even know I was gone. It was they kept on talking.
Yeah, I kind of didn't. I was I saw the string happen, and excuse me, and then I was like, well, I'm not going to worry about it. And we just kept on rolling. Yeah. James is an interesting guy, because he was. I mean, and I think we talked about it. I mean, that guy had number ones.
Right.
He wrote a classic. He sang a number one, and he is where he is. You know what I mean? And I got to know him way after all that stuff happened. You know what I mean? And so, he kind of fascinates me, number one, just because of the fact that it's the same thing. The dude is approachable. Everybody wants to kind of know the nuts and bolts of how something like that works. And to be honest, you can tell from the conversation with James, like, you don't know how that stuff works. Nobody knows how it works. Nobody knows where lightning is going to strike. You know what I mean? So there's no point in trying to sit around and formalize it. So, but at the same time, you want to pick somebody's brain like that just kind of found ways to get themselves in the right room. And again, that's the funny thing with James, like, and this is kind of the thing that really I can appreciate the most. It's like, it wasn't a plan, and that's the beauty in a lot of this stuff. And I think the mistake that I know the mistake that I make a lot is to tell myself that there's a plan. And there is a plan, but it's not my plan. I just have to do the things that I have to do. And, you can be too pushy. And I have people that I know that are really successful artists that I could easily shove every song I write down their throat. And I know people that do, and those people don't seem to offend those artists. But I don't know that it's my personality. And so I kind of have to figure out how to sort of make it organic and still be present. You know what I mean? Because I got Luke Combs' phone number. If I want to send him a song, I can send him a song. But you don't want to just send Luke Combs every half verse you write. You know what I mean? You kind of save up. Okay. And again, you can plan for those things sometimes, and or you can just kind of let those things happen, And so you know what I mean? Like, that's the kind of stuff that I learned from talking to James, and the fact that, like, okay, it's okay to be me. It's okay to figure this out, figure out how I'm going to do these things, And he's just a cool guy, man. We have a lot in common. He's a gear nerd. He's got cool guitars. I mean, he's a cool guy. He's a really cool guy.
And like you said, he's kind of got as far as when those, just got started loving you and all those songs were out, he kind of has this big, like, I don't know, big kind of vibe about him or whatever you want to call it, like a big personality or whatever.
Presence, yeah.
Big, that's a better word.
Yeah.
He has a large presence about him. But then, fast forward all this time, and he's had the highs and the lows and the in-betweens, and now he's releasing music independently and seems really happy with his product. And, and like you said, it shows that he is, just because that music video looked like this and he had a number one, doesn't mean that he doesn't want to be talked to.
Exactly, yeah.
To him on the street.
Yeah.
Or whatever the case would be.
And I'm sure plenty of people.
He followed me back on TikTok. You know what I mean? Like, it's little things like that in that conversation.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I get along with him, because he's around, like, comments on posts of mine. You know what I mean? Like, is present on social media, and is present on his own social media. Looks at stuff like that. And you can tell, like, like it's not fake. Like he does it because he's interested. You know, he's interested in the music that people around him are making and what people are saying about his music. You know, that's important. Social media, you know, not to get off on a weird tangent, but like it's been a huge conversation for all of us. And like, I think I'm almost to the point to where I'm starting to get comfortable with it as a tool, you know, I mean, which is really nice, you know, because I didn't fight it for pride's sake. It just, for the longest time, you know, you had to learn how and where and when to fit it in, you know? And so that was hard. And I still don't know how and where and when to fit it in. You know what I mean? Because too much of anything is too much. But it's really useful. It's useful for me because like case in point down here, there are people that I see and meet down here that I see comment on everything that I do. You know what I mean? And so I can put a face with a name with JKLM1234. You know what I mean? Like I know that person's name's Frank or whatever the case may be. You know, like it's an opinion of a person now. You know, and it always was, but it's nice to be able to put a face with a name or you know a profile.
Visualize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So many people will stop you, Adam Hood, walking around. What makes you stop and focus on? Because like last night, watching Paul Coffin, what really stopped me, the way how the guitar player was moving the pick and doing the hybrid thing. Yeah. What stops you and where you would take notes?
Good question. I mean, you know, overall quality in general, you know, I mean, that's going to be the thing that does, you know, I like to see people, and you see this a lot here, like there's a lot of solo shows, a lot of acoustic shows, you know, I mean, and nobody forces anybody to be quiet here. You know what I mean? Like, but the times that the room is silent when someone's playing, that's really important. You know what I mean? Like those are the songs that like, if I'm somewhere listening to somebody and they're playing a song and everything hushes, it's easy for me to pay attention that way. You know what I mean? It's probably something like, you know, absorb this moment yourself, see what this person is singing and what they're doing, you know, that kind of stuff. And then just, you know, I mean, I don't get to see Jason Eady play. You know, I mean, I don't get to see Paul Coffin play. I work on weekends too, you know? Right. And so it's just the fact that, I mean, I look at the lineup and say, okay, because, you know, I think Lance Rourke, I'm playing a show with him in New Orleans on February 20th. Well, you know, that's like, I would have never, like, if not for this festival, I'd have never shaken that guy's hand. So it's really nice to be able to say, okay, nice to meet you. I'll see you in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And so, I pay attention to that kind of stuff. Just, you know, who's from where I'm from, who's going to be playing where I'm playing. You know, if I've got dates with someone, go check out what they do and just go ahead and start the ball rolling on like, okay, here's how I can participate. You know, like Ben Chapman and we did a song swap and the thing that was a good song swap for me, in my opinion, because there are songs that Ben's recorded. Well, he and I've written stuff. He's got songs that he's recorded that I know really well. And then Ben is as much as he's a friend, he's a considerable amount younger than me and like listened to my music in high school. And so like when he and I are playing together, they're like, you know, Ben is a really good guitar player. And I can, if there's a solo part, if there's a break, I have all the confidence in the world. I can give it to Ben and he'll just wear it out, you know. But he does, like, there are things that I've just through my techniques that I do instinctively that are just in all my songs. And through being like paying attention to my music, he's learned those things. And so by doing so, it's almost like he's like, I'll catch him kind of in my head, kind of like playing things I would be playing before I'm playing them. It's like, well, hell, I don't need to play that. He just did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's kind of a cool perspective. You know what I mean? And so like, that was a neat observation, you know, it's something like that with Ben, you know.
It's funny. One of my favorite things to do is put on your music and I jam to it. And it's just wild, you know. I get to talk to you.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, I kind of felt like I was in Adam Hood's band for a little bit, and you know, you come.
Well, you
down
can be. The pay sucks, but you can be.
On a Northeast tour.
Yeah.
You got him, right?
as long as you skip Memphis.
What about that? You like it?
I hear it's a rough place.
It is a rough place. We won't go there.
Draw wise and just in general. By the way, the Hood AF shirts, I mean, really have popped off.
Thank you.
My neck of the woods.
Have they?
I'm sure.
For different reasons.
For different reasons.
I'm sure you've seen.
Yo, where'd you get that, homie?
Yeah. Is that what you really is?
Yeah, that's what I wear to work every day. That's my work uniform.
Boy.
Hey, I mean, if you're from the area, you got to roll with it.
That's right. You got to own it, man.
Yeah, you got to own it.
Atta boy.
All right. You mentioned Lance, and you're one. I'm glad y'all got to meet last week. That's really. We're both big fans of
Cool.
Of Lance.
Absolutely.
And,
Love that guy.
We kind of think that he's like right there. Whatever that there is. You know what I mean? As far as that's not necessarily arenas, but it's where people in the scene start to know who Lance is.
Well, that guy was Ty Myers last year. You know what I mean? Like I remember the same way things are with Lance right now, they were with Ty. Like I saw Ty a couple of different places. We had some good conversation. I talked to his dad for a little while, and then like now he's Ty Myers, you know. So I mean that was within this year, you know. So I mean the fact that Lance is kind of you saying that is probably a lot more of a reality than he may realize. You know what I mean? So which is really cool.
We just as far as the playing, like he doesn't really even. I don't think he knows as good how good he is in a lot of
guitar.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Guitar wise, I mean, he's got a different kind of chops than what we hear, and then he's got the connections with the Turnpike guys and the songwriting. But he's got the connections with the Turnpike guys because of all the rest of the package. You know?
Right.
That's not just the pretty face, right?
Yeah.
But you also mentioned that show that you mentioned that's going to be with Andrew Duhon.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody that I met at not Edie Fest way down in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And but I thought Jason brought his name to the party. We had this conversation, but I just want to point him out because he's another one that I feel like is quality wise and everything. People should really know who Andrew is, and also he came on your radar for a reason. And like we were talking about a lot of the artists that send you stuff or that you stop and listen to. Andrew seems like he would have been one of those guys that if you were passing this, if you were passing that stage, you would have stopped and listened.
I mean, with him, so it's him and his buddy Michael Soule. I used to play a place called the Red Star in Baton Rouge. I played it all the time, and Andrew and Michael were there every time I played. You know, I mean, if we played the Mellow Mushroom in Baton Rouge, Andrew and Michael were there. If we played in New Orleans, Andrew and Michael were there. And Michael was the tall one that talked, and Andrew was the one that kind of behind him that never said anything. You know, and so, but I knew him. This was 25 years ago, I bet. I mean, it was years ago. It was before you could tell that like, and he was sitting there behind Michael absorbing everything that was going on, you know? And so, years go by, we kind of lose touch, you know, and then I talked to Michael. Michael lives in Nashville now. And so I say, how's Andrew? And he's like, oh, sure, you need to look him up. He's doing great. And like studio-wise engineering and stuff, he's had some pretty interesting success. And then Jason and I were doing the songwriters workshop in New Braunfels, whenever that was. I guess it was April, maybe. First of summer last year. And Jason and I got there before everybody else did. And Jason said, yeah, man, I've been listening to this record by this guy named Andrew Duhon. And I said, what? He said, yeah, have you ever heard of him? I said, yeah. And so I sent him a text message and I emailed him and said, hey, man, Jason and I were just talking about you because he loves your record. Is it okay if I put y'all in touch? Because Jason was like, man, if you know him, let's see if I can. I'd like to get him on the down in Mississippi Festival.
That's great that Jason thinks about those things, honestly.
Yeah, I mean,
because of course he's going to get his friends at that thing, but he's also looked like Addison Johnson and Andrew, those guys like that introducing his fan base to people that he's drawn to like or
Yeah, and that's the cool thing. Like, with him, and I don't know that necessarily it's not as direct with Jason. Like it's not like he's got his antenna out always looking for, but at the same time, he finds good music. I mean, he finds great music through unconventional ways. And I mean, those are two perfect examples. I mean, and I remember talking to Addison years ago, just through the same thing. And, man, he's an incredible writer. He's an incredible writer. And I mean, Addison kind of has too many ideas. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, hey, man, don't send me any more. I haven't gotten to the last three, So, but same thing. But Andrew, and yeah, he's fascinating. He's fascinating. And that Parish record that he made, and that was the one that Jason was talking about. It's incredible. It's incredible. There's just some real, the engineering on it and just the production on it. It's real simple. It's laid back and sort of, you can tell that like there's restraint there, but there's really interesting things happening. You know what I mean? Like the guy could go nuts and blow your mind, but he chooses not to because for the sake of the quality of the song. He's just a good guy, I mean, and I'm really glad to see he's part of these things. I'm glad to see him there. And, because of New Orleans, I mean, New Orleans is a tough nut to crack, because it's, it's its own society and its own culture in general. And the music society and culture kind of follows suit with that. Like you kind of have to, you don't just go down there and sell out, they don't, you got to kind of earn it, across the board. It doesn't matter who you are. You got to kind of invest in the scene and get down there and suck for a little while and learn how to do this, And so I'm kind of at that spot where like, I've gone down there and sucked enough. You know what I mean? And so this show with Andrew, it's at a great venue and it's like his thing, and he has audience and he's doing the same thing for me in New Orleans that we're trying to do in the Texas scene with him. You know what I mean? Just kind of, hey, this is my buddy. I think you'd like this.
He brought so it's not just a co-bill thing.
No, this is he's doing this once a month. Like he did a January one, he's doing a February one, and so this one is February 20th. It's me and Lance and Kevin Galloway from Uncle Lucius, which will be great. I've known Kevin a long time, yeah. But I've never done a song swap with Kevin.
I got to meet him last night for the first time.
Yeah, I feel like I tell him.
I've kids rock out Dakota Cannon.
Yeah, cool. I feel like I tell him the same story over and over again because I keep the woods away. That's just like I tell him like my dad raised me on Leonard Skinner and Simple Man with my dad. Like you can't put the Shine Down cover on. He ain't listen to that stuff. That ain't. Nah.
Yeah.
Turn it off. But I told Kevin, I'm like, dude, that's my Simple Man. Like,
that's cool, man.
When you hear the interviews, because like my dad, he was laid off when he had had his shoulder, and like we struggled. We were eating the Barilla angel hair pasta with 29 cents a box, and white clam sauce was the protein. Yeah. I'd probably be 6'4", like my dad, but like,
eating them noodles.
Yeah, eating his saltines and tuna fish, and
he became that song gave a community a voice. Yeah, that's really important.
It's not only is the musicality of it phenomenal, but when you really listen to the story, it's everything about that is impactful. And man, that song and when you talk to him, you're like, it's like talking to you. Thank you. Appreciate that. And it's like, man,
he's a very kind person and he has a really great mind, and he's intelligent, but he doesn't beat it over your head that he's intelligent. You know what I mean? And you can tell, but also, I mean, just like, as much as you can tell that he is that way, he's really a wonderful guy. I've never in my life had a bad experience with him. And I mean, I've done tons of shows with those guys, but never a song swap. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
I want to make sure we talk about the Southern Brothers thing.
Mm-hmm.
I know for sure that you're doing a show at North Springs together.
Yeah.
It's Adam and Jason, and you're gonna have a band.
But band, yeah.
Is that the only show, or y'all?
No, we've got. I mean, in fact, we're doing
done plenty of co-bills together, but this is going to be both of you on stage.
We did this a couple of years. Well, probably, almost 10 years ago, sadly. But it was. I mean, we gave it a name, and it was a thing, and so like it was the two of us. And the intention initially was to sort of celebrate the my style alongside of his style being the Southern thing. You know what I mean? Like he's a Mississippi thing and I'm an Alabama thing, and this is where we kind of meet in the middle. My songs, his songs. We wouldn't swap songs. We would kind of participate in each other's songs and stuff like that. And we had a band. It was Jason's band, but he had a great band at the time, and it went really well. It went really well. It went well enough to where it could have become primary. And neither one of us wanted it to be primary. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not, we're not Brooks and Dunn. You know what I mean? Like, that was not the plan. But that's not, it's not like we said, really we're not going to do this. Yeah, we didn't get mad.
They couldn't decide whose name was going to go.
Yeah, that's right. Who's going to be Brooks and who's going to be Dunn?
Over already.
Yeah, we already fighting about this. It's your face and not mine. So, it just became, it became bigger than we wanted it to be. And so we backed off of it for a little while. But then in the meantime, we would go do these acoustic shows. And the cool thing is about us doing acoustic shows, ironically, that's the time I get to talk to Jason more than I normally do. You know what I mean? Like, we talk all the time, and he's a very important person to me because he's the guy that I trust with, if I'm going to ask somebody, do you think this is good? Then I'm going to ask Jason. I ask Jason those kind of things, and I ask Brent. Those because
they know you
exactly. And sometimes they say no, and I don't. I don't. Yeah, that's right. But I don't get mad about it. But at the same time,
middle finger emoji.
I just want to know what his. Yeah, I want to know what the opinion is, just from somebody that I trust, and not only somebody that I trust, but somebody that I really respect as far as like. I know how they listen to music in general, and I know how they know me, and I know them the same way, and so he's a valuable person to me. But we talk, you know what I mean? Like, we sing our songs, but we don't really go out there with a set list, and we just kind of sit around and bullshit, and it's a really entertaining show. I mean, for me, I have a blast, you know what I mean? And I can't imagine people being in the audience that. If you came to see one of us, this has to be a great show for you. You know what I mean? If you don't have a good time, it's your own problem. You chose not to have a good time tonight. So, but yeah, we're gonna do it, and kind of the same thing. I mean,
what's the plan with it as far as
we don't have a plan?
You doing some certain amount of shows, or
no? We don't have a plan like that. No, and I don't know that in will.
Is it just a one for this?
We're playing this weekend, or I'm sorry, next weekend, Valentine's weekend. We got in Wichita Falls. Thursday, and then at Sons of Herman Hall Friday with Max and Heather Stalling, and then we're at the Double D Barbecue Saturday and outside of Stephenville. So we're doing those, and then I think it just kind of pops up here and there.
Gotcha. But it is
no real plan,
I understand. But but it's not a one-off.
No, I'll do these as much as I can, to be honest with you. I mean, they're fun.
Jason opens up the songs a whole different.
Yeah, man, it's just different, and I can participate in his songs. Like he has a. I mean, you see his guitar technique. Like there's a percussiveness to his technique that is really important, but like because he has to handle percussive aspects of it, he can't handle melodic aspects of it. Like he can't find parts, and that's where I can participate in his songs. I can play parts while he's playing low ends and percussive stuff, and he could do the same thing on mine. Like he gives my songs a kick drum where I can play my riffs and things like that. So and he's a great low harmony singer. He's really good at it, and harmony has really always been I kind of always said that I'm the worst harmony singer in the music industry, and I'd say that's probably fair. I mean, I'm really bad at it. Really bad. A lot of
good friends that.
Well, I got them fooled, man. I mean, I just get up there and just open my mouth, and we get lucky sometimes.
You found enough cool friends to sing harmony with you between Jamie Lee and Courtney.
Yeah, they don't need my help. I need their help, and so that's right.
You bring them up all the damn time.
Absolutely.
Taylor Honeycutt, Juliana, all these different people.
Right.
I've seen you snag a bunch of people to come up and sing harmony with you.
Because they're great at it, and I can't do it. You know, why don't you do it? It's your turn. I can't do it. Don't ask me to do it. We're gonna do it on my set.
Well, and you can also tell your buddies with all of them.
Yeah, man.
Too, so
Yeah.
all right, we appreciate the time. Anything? Patrick, anything else you want?
I'll just say the power of your name. So a lot of people ask, like, you don't need a big podcast, you don't need a big TikTok to meet people.
Mm.
If you want to be approached by artists, wear an Adam Hood shirt. I can't tell you how many times. Plus, and your merch, it's very comfortable to wear. I always wear that black shirt. It's great. But people come up to me, and I've told you, a guy had like, Adam Hood, and I'm like, yeah, I know him. And
Like a little fraternity that
and I'm talking, and you get done talking, and you're like, man, I had a great conversation. That guy knows music. And they get on the bus, and you're like, who was that? That's happened a bunch of times.
You talk to them, then they get on the bus.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh my god, that was somebody.
Who's that I was talking to?
Yeah, that happened. Like Co Wetzel's drummer, the guy came up and he said, "Yo, Adam Hood, man, cool shirt." I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, great guy, but love his music. I love his music, and he's like, man, we had a great conversation, great music conversation, and he gets on the bus, and I was like. I said, well,
that's pretty cool, man. Yeah.
But that happens.
Yeah.
When I wear your shirt, people come up to me because the power of the name of people that love music, know great music, great songwriting, and great people know Adam Hood.
Other people
Thank you.
Too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if they know you, they know.
Yeah, there's other association. I remember there was a time when, like, kind of before Isabel became Isabel, it was kind of that way with him. Like it was like a fraternity, you could see, you would see somebody at a show and they had on an Isabel shirt. Like, it's like, oh, cool. You know what I mean?
Guy.
Yeah,
I don't know,
exactly.
but.
Yeah. This guy obviously has this kind of taste in music. And so, that's really cool. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, you hope for those things to happen, but the reality of it is, I don't know. Some of it can be overwhelming, but at the end of the day, I'm really thankful, and I feel like I'm, I'm old. I'm not old, but but I've been at it long enough to where, like, I can't say I won't screw it up, but like, I can handle this from a more mature perspective now. You know what I mean? Like, I can appreciate that and be thankful for it and kind of be a good steward of it at the same time, So that's really cool to hear, though.
Yeah, and then in this Mile Zero situation, I thought about this yesterday because I was at the Taylor Honeycutt and Shelby Stone show, and there was, I don't know, a couple hundred people there, but I saw a couple Adam Hood hats and shirts and whatever. And in a lot of your show situations, a lot of people don't wear the merch, your stuff to your shows.
I tell them to,
or if they do, it's not as surprising, I guess.
Yeah,
but you're out in the wild here.
Yeah,
you get to walk around.
I get to see who's got my hat on. Yeah, who's got my shirt on.
And
I want people to wear if you bought my shirt and I'm coming to your town, wear my shirt, man. That way I'll know it's you, and I'll be, hey, I like that shirt. I mean, that's like, I would think that you would wear the artist's shirt to their gig, like.
Especially in a festival setting.
Yeah, why not? Might as well. I mean, I'm not going to get mad at you. I'm not going to be like, nice shirt. Hey, douchebag. Look at that guy back there, guy Adam Hood shirt on. Look at this guy. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's cool, And it's cool. It's cool to be, like we've been talking about. It's nice to be at other people's shows and just to be sitting there listening, and somebody will just walk by and go, hey, love your music, and like, and nobody's rude. That's the best thing about it. Like, I think there's artists that won't get out because they assume that, like, everybody's going to bother me, and nobody bothers anybody, And I mean, number one. Number two, is it a bother for someone to tell you that they appreciate what you do? Is that bothersome to you? You're in the wrong line of work if it is. You know what I mean? Right. Like, if you can't take a compliment or accept a thank you for what you do, man, you need to get out of my way. I mean, at least get out of my way. And there's a lot of other people that you're in their way too.
We talked about.
Yeah. I mean, really. I mean, there's just I don't think rock and roll is dead. I mean, the essence of it and the vibe of it, but the attitude's over, man. We ain't got time for that. No point. The humanity doesn't have time for that. We need each other's kindness. instead of each other's dismissiveness and standoffishness,
100%.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good place to wrap it up. Adam, I appreciate the time.
Thank you guys, man. It's cool to sit and talk with you both.
How did we do on questions? You said, Adam went to bed at a decent time last night, right? And he
better have good questions.
He saw us out on the street, and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to bed. You better have some good questions."
You had questions. We had conversation.
Okay.
That's what, instead of it being like, man, I really got a headache. I really would want to ask you some questions. I got to go eat a donut and absorb some alcohol. So,
Not gonna lie, I kind of have a headache.
Yeah, now that the headache set in.
Look, man, I'm a big earplug guy, and I don't think my earplugs were fully in.
Like bouncing off your brain today. Yeah.
Thanks to Paul Coffin, which is coming up next.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
See y'all later.
All right.
Cool. Man, thanks, y'all.